Hello everyone, welcome again to uh, another part of Bachelors from Germany. This is Zakaria again with you. Uh, Due to a lot of questions and a lot of requests on about the process about the Bachelors in general, I decided that this time I'm going to make a video on the whole process, how you can apply for Bachelors immediately after your A levels or FSC or whatever board you have in your country. So if you are new to my channel, you can hit the subscribe button right now because so that you can be updated with the latest content that I'll be uploading. So let's get started. Now the general requirements for the bachelor's program is simple, like you must have completed your pre-engineering subjects or business or medicine, whatever you're applying for. You just need to make sure like you've taken all the required subjects, and the rest is pretty much the simple. Now in Germany there are mostly two possibilities that you can apply into bachelor's programs. Is that one is in English and the other one is obviously in German. Now the number of semesters is pretty much the same. You have 7 or 8 semesters, so basically roughly around 3.5 to 4 years, which is pretty much the standard duration for bachelors in everywhere in the world. Then the problem is when you talk about programs in English, it seems like it's very easy because then you don't have to actually give any kind of language test or anything, and you are simply admitted into the university without any issues, and sounds very easy, but unfortunately that's not the case. The problem is if you go to DAD website and if you see exactly how many universities are there that are offering courses, bachelor courses in English, you will see there's a very less amount of them. So that is where the problem occurs, because when you're applying, when you're investing so much time, you don't want to invest this much time and then only apply to 1 or 2 universities, because that way you would be losing a lot of time. For instance, let's suppose may not happen, but what if you don't get the admission? In that situation, you actually lose a lot of time, because another thing is not all the universities are offering admissions in both winter and summer semester. So that is a big loss. So most of the cases that I have seen so far are like students, they enroll themselves into the universities which are offering courses in German, or they're offering in both. Because if you do the search on that website, which if you don't know, by the way, you can also look up to, I'll leave the link of the video in here on the top, or you can also go onto my channel and you'll see a website how you can actually search for universities on dot. So if you search for websites for bachelors for English, there are a few universities who also have a requirement that you must do language, German language of course, or they have some courses which are like in the beginning, first 2 years, it's all in English, but then when the major ones start, some of them are in German. So they also require you at some point to know German. So one way or the other, you have very few universities in English, but most of them are in German. So if you're applying in bachelor's and you want to get enrolled for bachelor's in Germany, the best way is to learn German. Only then you have a good chance. Now the procedure for those universities is something like this. You need to complete at least B1 level in the German language. so that you can be eligible to apply. Because now, why you need the German B1 level? For those who don't know, in German language there are actually levels like A1, A2. These are the beginner ones. Then you have B1, B2, and C1, C2, and so on. One of the biggest requirements for a bachelor's in Germany is that you need to enroll yourself into Studienkolleg. Studienkolleg is where they spend 1 year on you, and you have 2 semesters, and you basically have to study German most of the time. Some of the Studienkolleg also offer mathematics along with German. So you basically have 2 semesters and you have to clear them. So once you clear them, then you are given the admission into the bachelor's program. You also have one extra attempt. Let's suppose if someone fails in the first semester, they have one more attempt to make sure like they can pass it the second time. But if you don't, then probably you'll have to search for some other options. So here is the process. The first thing you need to do is like you need to get the German language to be done from your country. Could be from the Goethe Institute or whichever options you have in the country, you can go for them. You have to get done with B1, and then when you apply for bachelor's program, you need to make sure that you're enrolled into a Studienkolleg. I'll also leave a link to the website of the Studienkolleg, and they also have some steps mentioned about the whole enrollment process. It's pretty easy and very simple. And once you finish the Studienkolleg, then you start into the bachelor's of the German university. So that is how it's actually structured over here. Some universities, they also have, not all of them, but some of them, they also have a requirement that before you actually join the bachelor's program, you must have, some have a requirement of 4 weeks, some 6, and some 8 weeks of internship. So if you are enrolled into the Studienkolleg, maybe you can try to get some internship here in Germany, but that is totally dependent upon the opportunities. Like if you know the language properly, you can communicate properly, there is a good chance maybe you might be able to find one internship here. Or the second option is like you complete this internship back in your country before you come, and this way you don't have to spend time finding an internship while you're doing a Studienkolleg course. But this one is not the case for all of the universities. This is only the case for some of the universities. So basically the rest of the process after that is pretty much the similar one. Like you basically search for the university, apply. One more thing is very important, is like you have to be very sure about the requirements. They have the requirements mentioned on the website. If something is not clear, you can visit the website of the university, and there you'll have all the requirements. So make sure the subjects that they require for the program that you're applying for. Let's suppose you're applying for medicine, so make sure that you have all the subjects taken already in your high school or whatever secondary level you have, so you are completely eligible. So if you're thinking about applying for bachelor's, make sure you have the subjects complete. Then start learning German, start enrolling yourself into some German institutes, take the language course, spend some time, get B1 done, and then apply for the Studienkolleg along with the bachelor's. There are some universities where you apply and you also get an admission into the Studienkolleg. So some you have to enroll yourself by yourself, so you'll have to see which one option is being offered in your case. Or the best option is you can even email the university faculty or the member in charge, and they can also help you with this. And that is really the process. So it's pretty much simple, a bit lengthy because now you have to spend about 1 year, let's suppose, on the language, because you have to do 3 levels: A1, A2, and then B1. So depending on the duration of the course and your speed and how good you are, it depends on those things. So let's suppose it might take you on 1 year on that, the second year on the student colleague, and then you start your bachelor's. So basically, if you do the bachelor's in your own country, you can get it immediately after you finish your 12 years of education. But if you're planning to do it from Germany, then you basically have to wait for 2 years, and in those 2 years you basically just do the student colleague in German language, and after that you actually get into the bachelor's program. So all in all, in short, the whole in short, yeah, it's like you do it in 6 years in Germany and 4 years in your own country. If you ask my recommendation, I would say do the bachelor's in your own home country, and after that apply for masters. You get a lot of programs in English. You don't have to do the language, not necessary. You have a lot of universities offering courses in masters in English language. But again, that is my opinion. You are free to have your own choice and your own opinion. So that's really it. I hope you understood the whole process, and if you still have any comments, you can freely comment below in the comment section. Anything that is not clear, please mention it in the comment section below, and I will definitely reply you back on that and try to help you out with it as soon as possible. Thank you very much for your time, and like always, do like the video, share it with your friends and all those people who are also applying, so like they can also get this information and they can also get the help they need. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That's it, and see you later. Bye.